What about the rest of the money?
Here's why owning a restaurant in Tony Soprano's world is financial suicide. In the tangled ledger of Tony Soprano's dining habits and Artie Bucco's restaurant woes, the numbers tell one story, while the bruised egos and bruised ribs tell another. On paper, the matter seems simple.
We'll wipe my tab at the restaurant.
Tony, that's what, $6,000? What about the rest of the money?
In season 4, Artie owed Tony $50,000, minus the $6,000 Tony had racked up in unpaid meals. Leaving a $44,000 debt Tony was ostensibly entitled to work off in pasta and veal.
You want to help me so badly? Try paying your tab.
Excuse me?
By season 6, however, Artie is still moaning about Tony stiffing him on the tab. This naturally raises a question. Had Tony already eaten through his $44,000 allowance? Or was Artie's complaint more about the psychological weight of owing a mob boss than the arithmetic of fine dining? The back-of-the-envelope math supports the possibility. At $22,000 a year, the free food breaks down to roughly $400 a week. Pocket change for the Soprano appetite.
You can leave the bottle. And, Artie, put that on my tab.
Of course.
Considering Tony's penchant for dining in packs, ordering multiple courses, and treating wine lists as personal challenges, the figure is plausible. We're talking about a man who could put away a 3-pound lobster before deciding on dessert, and who surrounded himself with people who viewed appetizers as a mandatory prelude to another appetizer. Yet the hypocrisy is rich enough to be served tableside. In the same breath that Artie complains Tony's unpaid feasts are driving Vesuvio into the ground,
why don't we just go to another restaurant and eat?
We're here.
he also whines that Tony sometimes hosts large parties at other establishments. If the man truly doesn't pay, then shouldn't Artie be relieved when the horde takes their $1,000 appetites elsewhere? The problem, of course, is that Tony does pay other restaurants, and that's the real sting. Watching your friend skip out on your bill while dropping thousands across the street is the kind of insult that marinates overnight. The original debt saga, though, is almost elegant in its mob logic.
You know LOD's brother, Jean-Philippe? Worst case scenario, I eat for free.
Tony assumed the $50,000 debt French charmer Jean-Philippe owed Artie, wiped his own $6,000 tab as a collection fee, and sent Furio to shake down the Frenchman. If Tony collected in full, he essentially pocketed $6,000 at Artie's expense. If not, the beauty of mob accounting is that the books are always settled, just rarely in your favor.
They miss a payment. They start acting like they're doing you a favor.
As one might expect, nobody is cutting checks back to Artie once the cash lands in Tony's hands. The cost of Tony's freeloading becomes even more believable when factoring in the liquid assets. Soprano's wine is not boxed Franzia. Even a mediocre Ruffino Reserva runs $18 retail, which a restaurant can happily inflate to $75 or more. Multiply that markup by the kind of volume generated by Tony's crew, bottles for the table, extra bottles for the skanks,
They're wrapping up a lobster roll for me to take to Jenny.
and take-home lobster rolls for Johnny Sack's wife, and the numbers climb fast. Alcohol in restaurants isn't just a profit center.
It's a financial accelerant. Artie's complicity is also worth noting. For all his grumbling, he knew exactly what came with the price of admission to mob-adjacent camaraderie. Stolen food in plain sight, unpaid tabs, and occasional public humiliation.
And that a certain amount of that kind of patronage creates buzz.
He even tried to leverage Tony's patronage as a marketing tool, though whether mob presence attracted customers or scared them off is debatable. In truth, Vesuvio's books were never going to balance while Tony treated the place as a personal commissary. From a business standpoint, $400 a week is trivial for a fine dining regular, especially when they're ordering because it's expensive, rather than because they want it.
With my hours at the body shop?
Ladies, dessert was on me.
Thank you, Artie.
Spread across 2 years, the alleged $44,000 is barely a statistical blip once you count group dinners, catered events, and the wives' boozy lunches.
Halls. They have a series of ladies' luncheons every week. The food is good.
That's before adding the intangible cost of being a restaurant owner in Tony's circle, a role in which your menu prices are irrelevant, because the bill is never really yours to present.
In the end, whether Tony worked off the $44,000 is beside the point. The relationship's economics were never about settling up. They were about dominance.
I'll always help you.
Go cook.
Wiping the tab was one of Tony's rare magnanimous gestures, but it also reset the dynamic to his preferred state. Artie owing him nothing on paper, yet always indebted in practice. And if Artie couldn't make his nut under those terms, well, there's always truck driving.
Artie never got paid. You can fix that. Subscribe.